Well, hey now, everybody. It's the Rob from 106.1 KISS FM here with my tag team partner in podcasting. Please welcome to the show the author of pain. He is Jerry Valeri. Good morning, Jer.
Since I'm an author of pain, I no longer need my manager. Get out of here, Paul.
Jer, there is so much to talk about from yesterday.
That was a whirlwind of a Raw after Mania. And I know I go into it with high expectations every time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's still, man, it was every segment, something was popping out of the woodwork.
I have so many notes on my phone, and this is just the first page. Like, because they're just bullet points. They're not even like thoughts, just like stuff that we need to get to, stuff that happened last night.
Sure.
Do you want to just get started? Is there anything we want to, boy, you know what? Let's start with, we got a ton of feedback on the post show yesterday, which we love.
I love it. Whether you agree with us or not, like that's not what it's supposed to be about, agreeing with each other. I love everybody had different opinions on whether or not Roman was bleeding the hard way, on whether or not Nicholas sucked.
Hold on a second. Everyone had the same opinion except for me with Roman. Okay. Now, Nicholas could be back and forth on. I only watched the thing live. I have not gone back and rewatched anything. I know everyone is saying it was hard way. I'm sticking by my guns.
It looked hard way to me, although I will say this. I went back and I had to watch the last 2 hours again because Evan had to go to bed Sunday night. He can't stay up till midnight. There's a moment after the elbows where you already see some blood, but Roman does go like this. And he could easily just be going to check for blood, but there is a moment where he goes like this and the camera catches it for a second.
Guys,
but he's laying on his back in the middle of the ring, and nobody blades laying on their back in the middle of the ring.
First of all, I don't know how well people remember this, but there was a national conversation about this after their match at, 32, 31? Whenever they had their last singles match, it was the one that Seth Rollins cashed in on.
Yes.
Everyone was having the same conversation, and I felt like I was again on an island, and it came out that he bladed. I'm telling you. This
time you're going to stay on your island. I think you're staying on the island this time.
The point of blading is to do it discreetly, is to do it so that no one knows you're doing it.
However, if he was blading on these elbows that apparently weren't written in, because I mean, do you then not believe at all the story that Brock goes backstage and throws the belt because Vince gets in his face and Vince is mad at him for going off script with elbows?
I don't know. Okay, so I saw that, and I believe that Vince was probably upset about how bloody it became. But
but if that's the case and it's a blade, then he wouldn't be mad at Brock. He'd be mad at Roman for scalping himself.
Well, first of all, we don't know who did it. Second of all, if there is a blade, and the other thing, it's like, yeah, Brock put him into the position. Like Brock was out. He was just probably pissed at whoever was the first person back to the curtain.
I would not let Brock Lesnar have a razor near my face. He is way too stiff with everything else.
I'm not saying Brock did it. Guys, that is wrestling blood. Like, I'm just telling you, you don't see blood like that outside of wrestling.
Hard way.
That's fine. That's cool. I can't wait for it to come out. I can't wait. And it might be on like whatever the 2 generations from now something to wrestle with is. But I'm going to get on this stupid podcast 70 years from now and be like, see, I told you. I told you all.
You're going to hold on to this one. You've been vindicated in the past. I mean, you don't have to look far. You've got the dead man Undertaker. No one was with you on that either.
Listen, I was the only one on that island too. So let's move forward. What else is there? Nicholas, it seems like, have you kind of softened on Nicholas a little bit?
I softened a little bit on it. Oh, I saw one guy on Facebook that just annoyed the hell out of me because he's like, "Way to go, WWE! You gave the championship to a 10-year-old. You've jumped the shark. You've jumped the shark. I'm never watching again." Really? I mean, these are the people that gave us the gobbledygooker, and you're saying now they've jumped the shark?
Now you've done it.
Mae Young gives birth to a hand, but this is too much.
They'll never recover from this.
What the hell?
What a dumb thought.
What a dumb thought.
Yeah. So, yeah, it seemed like people were pretty mixed on that one too. It looks like you don't have to worry about it for too much longer.
Yeah, I softened on it a little bit last night. I mean, they wrapped it up all right. And when I watched it a second time, I watched it with my son, who inevitably put himself in those shoes. Like, he was like, oh yeah, he was like thinking like, oh, I hope it's. He said before he picked Nicholas, he said, oh, I hope he picks a kid. And I was like, oh, come on, buddy. And then he brings this kid in, and then but I wish in the real world it hadn't been a plant and he had picked my son, because Evan said, I get in the ring and I'd look at Sorrow and I'd say, F you, mother effer. And like, he said that, and he starts flashing middle fingers. And I was like, Jesus, buddy, stop it. Your mother's going to hear you.
So here's my question to the people on the post show who were anti-Nicholas. I think Steve was anti-Nicholas, and there were a bunch of anti-Nicholas people. And I am too. I think that they could have done better than what they did, but it's okay. So, and let me ask you this.
Nicholas wasn't a good choice. Nicholas wasn't a good choice.
Was there a part of you yesterday when those two relinquished the title where you were a little heartbroken, where you're just like, man, I kind of wanted to see where they could have gone with this?
Absolutely. Even if it had been a floating child, like Nicholas is relinquishing his half, but we'll substitute Nicholas
for a different fourth grader.
For a different fourth grader every week. That'd be fun for a little while. And I kind of thought that's how. I thought for a minute that's how we were going to see the Authors of Pain. I thought there were two ways we'd see the Authors of Pain. I thought it would be cool for Braun to come out with Nicholas and then say, we'll challenge anybody. Then the Authors of Pain come out, overwhelm Braun Strowman. Paul Ellering keeps Nicholas safe, but in a way that it looks like he's, kind of threatening. Keeps him out of the action. Braun gets decimated, and Authors of Pain immediately get hot shot at the titles. Bang! That's how you bring them in.
That would have been cool. And we also have to shout out my buddy from Billings, Justin. Did you actually read the post he put on Reddit?
So he called it, didn't he?
Absolutely, and he called it 5 days before it happened.
Yeah.
And he says even longer ago than that, but to be that close to what actually happened, and to I had a point about this. He was so descriptive about what was going to happen, and it was so out of left field. Like, this has never even been close to being done before.
This was not. Everyone was throwing names out. Rey Mysterio, Dean Ambrose, whatever name you said, someone else had said it.
Yeah.
But nobody said, oh, he's just going to pick a kid.
If you didn't read the post that Justin put on the post show, my friend from Montana, Justin, he literally called exactly how that segment was going to play out. He put it as like a wish as opposed to a prediction. But I mean, down the line, it was amazing. And he put it on Reddit 5 days before WrestleMania.
Right.
So props to Justin. All right, let's get into Raw, because so much happened.
Yeah, it starts with Stephanie McMahon, and immediately I'm like, oh, okay, Stephanie, here we go. But then Ronda came out, and they did what they needed to do with Ronda. Don't let her talk. Let her kick ass.
Yeah, but you know what? Brittany made a good point while watching this segment. Again, Brittany's not a wrestling fan. She's like, Ronda's like unnatural as far as like, she's still like smiling and laughing and doesn't exactly know what to do with like her resting face.
I think that I think she was smiling naturally. I do think that. I think that she's got to get to the point where you got to stop being a fan in there. You got to stop geeking out. Listen, I get it. I'd be geeking out too. But you need to be badass, and you need to act a little better. And you need to develop your acting chops. What I get annoyed at is like, she goes from this to death stare. There's nothing in between. She's
got two looks, which, by the way, is one more than Roman Reigns has.
Right.
So, but still, it's right. It's happy, giddy, like you just said, or it's the sourpuss death stare. It's like,
yes.
So, but again, having two faces is more than Roman has.
More than Roman, and boy, Roman got killed. We'll get to him.
Yeah, I'm gonna move along kind of quickly because I have so much to get to.
Yeah, let's just go in order.
Going into that first break, they announced the Superstar Shakeup next week.
Yep, it kind of renders all of these special appearances moot.
That's kind of what I was gonna say. Is that I wish they'd kind of space these out more. Like if we're gonna do one a year, what about like after SummerSlam?
That would be good. I think they like to shake it up right after Mania, and I kind of get that. But, other than getting the NXT people on rosters so they can be part of the shakeup, it doesn't make sense for some people to come back yet, I think. I'd rather, not that I didn't enjoy seeing Samoa Joe last night, but I would love to have seen Samoa Joe show up on SmackDown next week during the shakeup, and it seems more impactful.
Which, by the way, I had a note about that too. I feel like they spoiled Samoa Joe's return because going into a different commercial break, they went into a promo for the Greatest Royal Rumble, which, by the way, looks amazing to me. And boy, I want to treat that like a pay-per-view, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely. That's going to be on noon our time on a Friday.
Yeah, noon your time. It'll be 11 o'clock here in Evansville. And
wow,
I'm thinking like I might watch it Friday night, and or like if you want to, maybe like Friday night we can watch it at the same time.
Well, so I'm going to watch it before the kids come home. I think on Friday.
Yeah, or watch. I mean, I'd have to get home a little early to catch it at 11, but yeah, maybe I'll watch it live too. It looks. I mean, I don't know. I might save it for Friday night. I don't know. I'm so excited for it though. That's all. Here's what we know so far about this: 50 mother effers in a Royal Rumble. 50.
Oh my God. 50.
All 7 titles on the line, including Brock and Roman in a cage match. And my understanding is we're going to get Undertaker at this thing.
And we're getting Cena and Triple H.
Yeah. Like I got to tell you, I am like seriously so excited for this. And the fact that it's on a Friday as opposed to a Sunday, I love it. I
love it. And I love that we're getting it in the daytime. Like I really enjoy that.
And a big stadium. I'm through the roof excited. I'm so excited. So let's give that predictions and a recap episode, if you don't mind.
Right. Okay. Sounds good to me. I'm assuming they're going to announce all the matches in time, so that should be okay.
I would think so. So I'm stoked about that.
It's interesting. I thought they did a good job of both promoting that and looking ahead to Backlash. Like that's not an easy feat.
Correct. I agree with you there. But where I was going with this was they had mentioned, oh, by the way, there's going to be a ladder match too on this thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable.
But they said that Joe was going to be in whatever match Joe's going to be in before Joe returned.
Yeah, I know.
Which I thought was a mistake, personally. I wouldn't have done that. So that was that. I made a note that the women's title looks like a toy in the hands of Nia Jax.
I like her having it, though.
I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed to it. I feel like Nia is not on the same level as the other girls, not because she can't move the same way as the rest of them. I feel like she's still a little green.
Oh yeah. They started booking her like they booked Braun Strowman, and then they deviated from that. And they let her talk and have feelings. And while I like this bullying story, this angle they've done, when this stories-driven angle is over, I think her usefulness as champion will expire as well.
I like that she looks different. I like one of my biggest complaints about the roster nowadays is everyone looks like Randy Orton. Everyone's in great shape. And in the world of Randy Orton's, I'm dying for a Bam Bam Bigelow. And
enter Kevin Owens.
Yeah, right. She is the Bam Bam Bigelow in the world of Randy Orton's, I feel like. And I like that. Man, when she opens her mouth, it's like your impression. I mean, it really is.
Hey, Rob. Here's Ember Moon, Rob. Here's Ember Moon. Hey, the crowd popped for Ember Moon. Good for her getting called up. I saw that coming.
Yeah, Ember Moon ready to be called up. I'm excited about that.
I'd also like to say congratulations to the early front runner for the Better Luck NXT time
so
2018 postie. No way, Jose. I promise you that you're going to get the Better Luck NXT time award. He looks like Carlito. He comes out with the rosebuds. Like, I was just like, Jesus, this is never going to work.
Again, I to quote Brittany, who is, again, not a wrestling fan, she goes, "What's this, the new Adam Rose?" And I was like, go ahead.
Yeah, but that's what I thought, too.
Listen, I like Jose. I want him to work. I feel like say hello to Better Luck NXT time 2018.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like, there he is. He's the early front runner, without a doubt.
Don't mistake me for saying he's not good. This is me saying I just know how this story goes.
It's not gonna work for him. It's like saying Tyler Breeze wasn't good. Tyler Breeze is good, very good, and he and Fandango both lucked out, I think, with the Fashion Police. But it very easily could have gone poorly for Tyler Breeze too. Like, he's just one of those guys. Ty Dillinger, 10-10-10. You're out.
It's not working. It's so similar to Adam Rose's gimmick that I can't see it going any other way.
Because Adam Rose didn't work at all.
All right, so we mentioned Nicholas and relinquishing the title. We mentioned No Way Jose. By the way, do you remember the name of his jobber?
No, I can look it up, but I don't remember it.
I know it. Yeah, I got it.
Go for it.
John Schuyler. We speak your name. Of course, it has to be. Yeah, thank you. It's got to be two first names every time. John Schuyler.
He took two moves. He took he got hip tossed and then he got thrown into the sky and punched in the face. That was it.
We speak your name, John Schuyler.
We speak it, and then we get this like tag team elimination thing, which I thought, here comes Authors of Pain. I kept thinking Authors of Pain was coming, but I was wrong where they were coming.
What do you mean?
Well, I thought they were going to show up in this tournament.
Yeah, it's like a 4-team tournament, I guess, kind of.
It's like a 4-team elimination thing, and it's Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows versus Revival was the first one, and then the second one was Titus Brand, and then it ended up being the unlikely duo of Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt.
Right. Yeah. So,
and I thought the Authors of Pain was going to fill a spot there,
and that's going to end up not at the pay-per-view, but at the Greatest Rumble.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I'm excited about that. We'll get to AOP, by the way, obviously. Let's see, Miz versus Rollins happening at Backlash. They did, like Jerry mentioned, they're building two pay-per-views at once, and it's their direction is great. Like I know what Raw's doing at Backlash. I know what Raw's doing at the Greatest Rumble. Like, hell yeah, man. What a great Raw last night.
I loved it. And I thought it was an A Raw. I don't know if you're going to agree with me on this. We've agreed on Seth Rollins pretty much the whole time from the cash in till now. We've agreed with Rollins. We were hot on Rollins at the same time. We were cold on Rollins at the same time.
Yeah.
I think we're both warming up to Rollins again at the same time. He's really stepping it up and starting to look like the main eventer that he is. But he's doing it, I don't know, at the expense of, but in comparison to Finn Balor, who's just a cardboard cutout to me right now. I know he puts on great matches, but Finn Balor's just not moving the needle for me.
Does he put on great matches?
I do think so. I do. I mean, he was part of your best match of the night at Mania. He was in it.
I'm giving him a hard time. Balor's a guy I've wanted to like since day one, and it's just never taken off for me. Same can be said. There's so many people, Nakamura, the same kind of thing. I want to like Balor. It just never seems to happen.
I like Jeff Hardy coming out. Did you like where they put him and how they did it?
They put him in the 6-man tag. What do you mean by how they did it?
Well, I feel like they could have used it as a surprise at the end of the main event. You have these two going up against the Miz Taraj, and you don't know who it's going to be, and then Jeff Hardy comes out.
Yeah, I guess that could have maybe been a better way to have done it.
he just kind of popped out.
I mean, on a night where AOP debuts, Ember Moon debuts, Bobby Lashley returns, all this other stuff. No Way Jose. I feel like Jeff Hardy.
Joe.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy. I feel like is kind of, he's the lesser big deal, I guess.
Yeah. He got a good pop when they brought him out. So
sure.
it was a good heel threesome. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Let's see. Oh, how about this one? Mandy Rose went over Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like it was more than just a chapter for Bayley and Banks, though. I feel like they may want to do something with Rose here.
Well, and they've got to come up with a new idea because Absolution is going down the toilet after, and I'm sure we'll get to the Paige retirement speech.
It's
but
next,
now they've got to
go right ahead.
Well, they've got to come up with something now for Mandy and Sonya Deville, and I think keeping them together is a mistake. I think let them go their own separate ways. They have nothing in common.
I bet you Sonya's like, can you keep us together for a little bit longer, please? Well, yeah. Do they need to split up, though? Because Paige has just been a manager for them the whole time anyway.
They were always a stable that had no common thread. Like, I never got it.
That's a good point. By the way, maybe this sounds cold. I felt nothing from Paige's retirement. I felt nothing. I have no affection to her. I have no positive memories of her. I don't particularly like her. I'm not going to miss her. And
so I had this spoiled for me, and this will really show you. So my buddy Tony texts me, and I had just started Raw, and I get a text, and I made the mistake of looking at it, and it said, "That's the worst retirement speech I've ever seen. She's a pilled up drug addict, and that was the worst." And I just looked at it, and I wasn't even upset that I was spoiled. I just went, "Oh, I guess Paige is retiring." I just assumed from the description, and she came out, and I don't know, she just didn't. Look, I felt nothing.
Here's the thing. So, when
I feel bad for her, but I don't feel anything for wrestling.
When Edge retired, it was kind of like out of the blue. And when Ric Flair retires, he's Ric effing Flair. With Paige, it's like, first of all, we had already known it for a while. This wasn't news to almost anybody. Everyone in the post-show universe knew she was retired. I just thought it was just not going to be acknowledged, really. And she's someone who has let herself go, and I don't mean that physically, just I don't feel bad for any of the bad things that have happened to her. She's making such bad decisions in her personal life that when they spill over into her professional life, I'm not feeling bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't have that laundry list of Paige memories. Yeah, I mean, she came along. She was one of the real middle ground, the transitional women between the divas and the women that we have now.
She was one of the first NXT come-ups.
Right, yeah, and had a really strong, when she was there in the world of the Bellas, Paige is a Charlotte. In the world of the Charlottes, Paige is a Bella. If that makes sense to you.
Right.
She's not on the level of the horsewomen, and she's better than the divas.
And I've read some people say that it was heartbreaking to see, and I feel like they're just saying that because they think that they're supposed to say that.
Agreed.
Retirement speeches not everyone that wins a title should get a "you deserve a" chant.
Agreed.
And not every retirement speech is going to make me want to cry. Daniel Bryan's did.
Yeah.
Paige didn't. Sorry, Paige. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry your career's cut short. I'm sorry you got injured. You're young. That sucks.
Dude, she tattooed 4-letter swear words on her fingers, and she's on television. You don't take your job seriously. I'm sorry.
You don't care.
You lied about all your drug use. She was the one, and WWE had to suspend her for drug use. And she was telling everyone it was BS, that she just didn't, and then kind of eventually fessed up and was like, yeah, I was doing, come on, Then
the sex tape stuff came out at the worst time for her. I feel like when we finally get removed far enough, probably I don't know. Once they're done pushing this movie that has The Rock in it and about her family, they're going to wish her luck on her future endeavors.
Yeah, I feel like that's, and I also feel like she just lives a reckless life. I get the vibe that she's not going to make it to, fabulous Moolah level age.
Next year, though, I can't wait for the Paige Battle Royal.
It's just going to be a triple threat.
With so many camera angles, you wouldn't even believe it.
It's going to be the VR experience, but it's just going to be a triple threat match every WrestleMania.
Well, at least Xavier Woods has a match already for Mania.
I think tomorrow night we can expect to see the return of what the heck's the guy's name? Who was the other clown in that tape?
I don't know. I want to say Bart Gunn, but I know that's not it. I wish it was Bart Gunn.
Why can't I think of that guy's name? I know the guy's name.
Butterbean.
No, stop. You're making it harder for me.
Steve's going to come in and he's going to help you.
Yeah, what the heck was that guy's name? Why can't I remember that guy's name? He was a GM for a little bit, and he was an NXT guy, and I can't think of dude's name. Anyone help me, please. But anyway, he'll return tomorrow on SmackDown. I was kind of proud of my triple threat joke.
Brad, is it Brad?
Thank
something?
you, Brad Maddox. That's what I needed. Thank you.
There it is. Yay, I helped you. The internet helped you.
Together we made a good joke.
It took a little longer than I needed. Here we go. This was a big one that nobody saw coming. I think some people did, but I didn't. Bobby Lashley.
Everyone saw that coming.
You saw it last night?
I mean, yeah, I did. Since it wasn't Mania, he was a guy that we knew was coming back sometime soon. Man, I don't know how I feel about him. So here's the deal with Lashley.
Whew, he looks good.
He always has, man. He looks like Brock to me. He's built like Brock.
He could go with Brock.
It's like Brock, and he looks like Apollo Crews too, to be honest with you. And he had a very successful run in like 2006, but I don't remember those great Lashley matches. Maybe he's gotten better since then. I haven't seen the guy wrestle since WWE. I hope that he goes places because look at the guy. I said the same thing about Apollo Crews. So this should be a champion, right?
Absolutely. Like he looks like a champion. For all those idiots that are arguing online about you need somebody to look the part to beat Brock. You can't have small guys beating Brock, blah, blah, blah. I read a lot of that yesterday. And, well, you know what? I disagree with you, but if you insist, here's Bobby Lashley. How about that?
If you insist, here's a great choice to do it. I have to be honest. I can't even remember what Lashley did. What did Lashley even do?
Well, he annoyed me because he interrupted Elias and he smashed Elias and he ran through him. And now you've got this monster heat machine in Elias that just serves to get his ass whooped every week. I wish they'd make him look a little stronger. I think they could have a main eventer on their hands with him if they dealt with him better.
Listen, Lashley's got to go over here.
Well, yeah, of course, but he didn't have to come out against Elias. You gave San Jose Jimmy Jacks or whatever his name was.
No way Jose fought John Schuyler, Jerry.
Sorry.
Please give the people some respect.
Be serious.
San Jose.
Will you stop?
Who is this, Joe Diffie all of a sudden?
F you, Diffie.
So, okay.
I liked it. He arrived, he killed somebody, and he left.
But Elias, I don't get, like, Elias is doing a great job, but you're making it seem like Elias is like main event super champ here.
No, I think he's secondary champ material that they're not giving him a shot at. But he's also good at doing. I mean, he's kind of like the Honky Tonk Man without the Intercontinental Championship. He comes out, he's super annoying. Everybody wants to see him get his ass kicked. The only difference between him and the Honky Tonk Man is he's willing to do the jobs.
But was Honky Tonk Man in the world title scene very much?
No, and he shouldn't have been. And
Right.
I don't think Elias necessarily should be, although he looks just like Macho Man Randy Savage.
So that's the thing. Let's have him help get Bobby Lashley into the main event.
Let's do it.
So that's what I'm saying there. Let's see. Okay, so then Cammy shows up. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they're well dressed. They're looking for jobs, which the only thing I like them, obviously. There's no denying that. It seems so weird to me if from like a wrestling is real standpoint. If the superstar shakeup is next week, why not just wait a week?
Well, they addressed it with a subtle line. One of the announcers said, if they're not on a roster, they can't be part of the shakeup.
Fair enough. Okay, that's
so that.
Fair
so
enough.
So that kind of explained that. I mean, for me, when it comes to pro wrestling, even the thinnest, it's like comic books. Just give me a thin explanation, as long as you give me one.
I'm with you. Also, how about for the first time ever in Raw history, TNA getting a mention?
And it came from the perfect guy.
Yeah. You know,
took a shot. I heard TNA's hiring. The whole crowd was like, ooh.
Yeah, and it was the right crowd to do it in front of too. So that was kind of cool. We'll come back to. Well, actually, you want to finish up Cammy, or you want to come back to them because their match wasn't until later.
Their match wasn't until later. We can just wrap it up here. I thought it was a good match. I never, ever, 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 never, ever, ever thought it was going to have a clean finish or a finish at all.
Every time I see these guys wrestle with stakes like this, it's like Carmella cashing in. You've conditioned me to not care.
It was a good match. It was fun. I like seeing these two wrestle.
It was good.
I think putting one of them over instead of the other would have been good. And I think putting Zayn over instead of Kevin Owens would have been the right move.
Yeah.
Because you could work Kevin's at his best when he is the angry, vindictive, spiteful son of a bee.
You're exactly right, Jer. That would have been a great call. But yeah, I'm excited to see because I'm assuming they're going to weasel their way into the shakeup somehow.
Oh yeah, they're gonna end up on Raw, I think, or Daniel Bryan's gonna end up on Raw and they'll find their way back on SmackDown.
I think they're gonna get split up. Personally, we'll see. I don't know.
We'll see.
AOP shows up and they ditch Paul Ellering after squashing who is it, Rhino and Slater.
Everybody knew they were coming out at this point. When Rhino and Slater are running their mouth about tag teams, I was like, okay, now we're getting Authors of Pain.
You know what's funny is I was thinking, because I was explaining to Brittany during the NXT pay-per-view that I think these guys will be called up somewhere down the line. And when I was explaining to her, I didn't really see how Paul Ellering would really fit into this. But once they let him go, I was kind of bummed.
I was bummed. I think he's perfect for that.
I agree.
I wonder if he'll go with another tag team or if he's just done.
I don't think so. I think that they actually got more out of, like, I think that they didn't plan on having him there for so long. But I feel like, yeah, someone in that role would be a good thing for them because the monsters like that, I don't want them on a mic.
I don't want them on the mic, and they never really were. It was great. He would cut those crazy promos, and then he'd send them, and they'd go, and they'd kill.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. I don't know. I thought it was a little premature to bail on Paul, but okay.
So we have Joe's return. Like I said, the return did get spoiled because, like I said, I saw the promo for the Greatest Rumble had Joe in it. So it looks like Roman's got Brock at the Rumble, and a few weeks after that, he's going to have Joe at Backlash.
And, you know, the only question is, will it be Roman versus Joe for the title?
Boy, yeah. Jared.
I mean, that'll go into our predictions episode for the Greatest Rumble, but I can't imagine they're going to put 7 title matches on in front of the Saudi Arabia crowd in a stadium and not change some titles. It might not be the world title, but
I mean,
they may
listen,
change some.
I haven't actually sat down and thought my predictions out for this match yet, but I mean, I was very steadfast that Roman was going to beat Brock at WrestleMania.
Yes, I agreed with you.
So it certainly is a possibility. That's for sure.
Could happen.
And I got to say, like, this is a great example of what we were talking about last year, how we were complaining about there were so many pay-per-views and how I missed those Saturday specials. And obviously this is a Friday one, but like now you got me excited. If this was just a pay-per-view on a Sunday, I would not be excited for, you know, whatever was going to be that weekend. Now you've made this so special.
It's super special. And it's, you know, the women are, now I've heard the women are allowed to have a match in Saudi Arabia, correct?
All titles will be defended. So I would think so.
Well, I just know in India they had issues, and I think Saudi Arabia is even less progressive when it comes to women. So I didn't know how that was going to work.
To quote Conrad, who's your favorite Saudi Arabian model?
By the way, quick shout out to those guys. I'm going to go against the grain. Everyone's calling them sellouts. I'm excited that Bruce Pritchard and Conrad Thompson are going to be part of the WWE network. I think that's going to be a good thing.
Is that the rap they're getting? They're getting sellout stuff?
Oh yeah, on Twitter they got a ton of sellout stuff. You guys get your chapstick ready. You know, you thought Bruce was kissing their butt before. Listen, Bruce has never been inflammatory about the WWE. He's been honest, and if anything, he's a credible defender of the WWE without sounding like a kiss butt, I think.
Yeah, I feel like, okay, so like for people listening to that podcast, sometimes Conrad gives Bruce a hard time about, you know, puckering up to Triple H. And I'm going to say sometimes he deserves it, but sometimes Conrad's being rough on him.
Yes.
So okay. If Conrad starts doing a whole bunch of about faces on this stuff, then call him a sellout. In the meantime, if he's just being his well-informed, well-researched guy who moves the show along, I want him on the network.
I just can't wait till the first time he's on the network and he goes, "Who booked this?"
Yeah, I'm curious to see how all that's going to play out. So, and obviously, I also remember it is a different podcast. It's called Something Else to Wrestle With. Let's see what happens first. Yeah,
I'm excited, and I just want to say congratulations to them because I really enjoy their podcast. Back to the fricassee, you know, we jumped to we're on Samoa Joe's thing now. That's good. You know, the Roman promo was fine. I thought the Joe promo was better.
Yeah, I agree. Both of those. Roman was fine. And Joe was better.
And kudos to Sign of the Night 2 nights in a row. I don't even like Times New Roman.
Eric pointed that out Corners pointed that out to me on Sunday.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm making that up. Either way, I noticed it. I forget.
No, it was Sunday.
Yeah. So
and last night.
So yeah, good stuff there. Anything else we need to mention from Raw? I think we may have gotten it all taken care of. I'm not in a rush or anything, but
Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt beat Titus Worldwide. So next week it'll be the Revival versus Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy. I'm sure. I think Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy are going to win. Right? They're going to be your tag champs at some point.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, you know what? If I had to place a bet right now, I would say I'd probably take Broken Bray, but they feel more like guys who would be in the Rumble than the Revival. I don't know.
You've got Woken Matt, Broken Bray, and last night was the very first time that we've heard on WWE television Jeff Hardy referred to as Brother Nemo. So they're clearly moving along with the story, whether we like it or not.
There are people laughing so hard right now.
That's what I know. It's Nero.
Oh, okay. But you did that so fluidly that I thought for sure you were being serious.
No,
like I know you really well. I thought for sure you thought it was Brother Nemo.
Brother Nemo. I just like messing up their names. Brother Nemo. Whatever it is.
Happy birthday, Joe Diffie.
Happy birthday, Jake the Snake Roberts. Wait a second. Here. Let's see whose birthday it is.
Whose birthday is it?
Happy birthday, Paul Bearer.
Anybody alive?
Who's Jesse Neal? I don't know who that is.
I think he's a TNA guy who was like an army guy.
Happy birthday, Paul Bearer. You're dead. Tomorrow's Harley race.